always hear the same stuff from everybody. Is always saying this. Hey, I want to add services to my junk removal service. I want to add more kind of side businesses to my junk removal, business. And in other words, here's what happens: is like people they get antsy, right? I don't even think it's that antsy. It's just like they get bored with their junk removal business, and they're like, hey, let's add another service to junk removal. Let's do something else, right? And then they start adding things to their business. And I always tell people, listen, brother, don't do that. Don't make that mistake. Don't make them. I always recommend that you stick to one thing and you get that one thing good. And when that one thing is ready to go, then that's when you can expand to other things, okay? So I know a lot of people that do junk removal and then now they're doing mowing. I know a lot of people that do junk removal and now they're doing dumpsters. I know a lot of people that do junk removal and now they're doing moving. So any of those categories is what I'm talking about. And there's a lot of things that go wrong, and I actually made notes. See, I made me some notes about what I wanted to talk about. So trust me, let's say you're a junk removal company and you want to do moving. Well, you're going to get a lot more competition. So if you thought junk removal was bad in competition, imagine what moving is. So you want to do something like landscaping. Well, you got a lot of competition in junk removal, and imagine now how much competition you're going to get in landscaping. I don't think you're thinking you want to do this on the side, but you want to take a whole authority of it, right? You want to be king of the world in landscaping. And it just doesn't work like that. And the fact is that there's competition in junk removal, and then you're going to go to do another thing, another business, a side gig that there's junk removal, that there's competition in too. All right, so here's another one for you. You want to do junk removal, but you want to start a side business and you want to do moving. There's a lot of competition in moving. There's a lot of competition in landscaping. There's a lot of competition in all these crazy ideas that you have of doing another service. And I'm going to tell you that you ran into junk removal, these problems over here with the competition. Okay, now I want to tell you something. Here's something else that you're going to run into other than competition. So competition, number one. Number two, you're diluting your unique value and compromising your sales. So here's what happens. You start doing moving, and you start putting all your eggs in that, your eggs in this basket of moving, and you started diluting your junk removal. So what happened is you were so busy with your junk removal, with your moving company, that you forgot about junk removal and you diluted yourself. And in other words, you just took it for granted. You forgot doing something. And I have a friend of mine who's wanted to start doing a door company. He wanted to sell doors and put doors in commercial buildings. It's a really big business, by the way. And I told him, I said, hey, he said, well, junk removal is really slow right now for me. And, I'm still doing it, but it's really slow. I'm going to start this door company. And I said, okay, so how many videos have you posted this month? And he goes, none. I said, because you have diluted your junk removal business for this door company. Well, months later now, like 2 months later, he's not doing the door company. It just came out to be bullshit. It was all a fucking fraudulent. It was just fraud. And now I told him, I said, see, brother, what got you here was junk removal, and you diluted it because you forgot about it. And now your sales in junk removal have taken a hit because of this door company. And that's what's going to happen when you start something else like that, another business like that. You tend to dilute and forget to take your real business for granted. Okay. Now, this is from experience. I've never tried. I did it when I was doing dumpsters, but this is not something that I haven't had experience in. This is something that I have first-hand experience in. This is things that I did. When I started my dumpsters, I started neglecting junk removal. I remember that. And there's a lot more stuff, and I was just thinking, heck, if you thought junk removal had business, the dumpster companies have so much business, man, so much business. So here's the next one. Here's what you're doing. You're creating confusion in your environment and to your customers. Because see, I used to offer junk removal, and now I'm like, well, if you don't want to do a junk removal, you can do dumpster rentals. And now they're going, oh, so he's giving me an option. Before there was no option, it was junk removal, and they had to settle for junk removal. But now we're giving them an option of dumpster rentals, and they're going, you know what, let me call you back on that. And you lose the total sale. Okay, so that's another thing. Don't create more confusion within your business if you already had something done really good and it's working for you. Yeah, you know, it's something that you don't want to do to your business, confuse your customers and confuse yourself in this business. Junk removal is so basically retard proof, and you want to keep it that way. Make your money in it and stop doing another service that you have nothing, that you know nothing about. Okay. Now, number 4, are you able to create a professional service out of this? Okay, so I do junk removal at 110%. I know every quirk about junk removal. Are you able to do your new business at 100%? Do you know everything right about it? Do you know everything that's going to be perfect for you? Do you? Because if you don't, you shouldn't get in that business, okay? You need to know everything that's perfect with that business for you to start that business, okay? What did you say? I thought you were really against dumpster rental. I am, Clutter, because I already learned my lesson years ago. That dumpsters, there's no money in it, and I did dumpsters. But what I'm telling you here, do not start another business that you know nothing about. Save your money, save your time, and hide your women. All right, and the last one is, and this is the biggest one, and this is something I didn't realize that when I got my dumpsters years ago, okay? You're gonna have to hire more people. See, back then it was only me, and I was doing junk removal. And then I got these dumpsters, so I had my trailers for junk removal and had these dumpsters for dumpster rentals. And I had enough trucks, I had enough trailers, I had all that stuff. And the problem was this, the problem was that people would call me to do junk removal, and then people would call me to do dumpster rentals. So I had to hire somebody to go do my dumpster rentals for me or my junk removal, and it was vice versa. It was causing confusion, and there was no money in dumpster rentals. I mean, I'm paying a guy $100 to go lay a $300 dumpster, and then he has to go back there 5 days later and pick up the dumpster. It was not adding up. There was just no money in it, man. There's gas, there's costs, there's expenses, there's dumping fees. Come on, man. There's just dumpsters is so hard to make any money in dumpsters. It's so hard. But listen, with that said, I want to tell you that getting and starting another service, okay, is Ricardo, all right? Is there a way to make real good money in another service? And when is that time to know when to start another service? I'm going to tell you when. Now, I'm going to be sure y'all know this. Whenever your website of junk removal is ranking on the first page of Google with not buying ads, not doing any kind of traffic that you have to pay for or leads, whenever you're on the first page of Google and you can get to that first page without doing that, then I'm going to tell you something. Now it's time that your business is in a good place that you can do something else. Okay? You can start your other business. And that's what I'm telling you. Always have that plan. Know that idea in your head that you have to be number one in junk removal in your city, in your area, so you can now go and start something else, okay? That's when you know it's time. Whenever you're on the first page of Google, you got all your social media, you're doing everything right, you're like number one, the phone won't stop ringing, and you want to expand to another business, that's when you know it's time, okay? That's when you know you're ready to do it. Other than that, don't start another business. Be really good at what you're doing and get better at it, man. That's what I'm trying to explain. Anyway, you know, I'm telling you this because I had a friend call me and said, hey, what do you think of this? I said, don't do it. You know, just don't start another business. It was really dumb. It was really dumb. Anyway, guys, with that, I'll talk to y'all later. Now, I almost got arrested just a while ago. And I'm gonna make a whole video about that in a few minutes. I'm gonna make a whole video about that because it was crazy. It was crazy what just happened. And I've been trying to call my landlord to tell him what's going on and stuff. And it's crazy. All right, I'll talk to y'all later, guys. Bye-bye.